found the Taxi Stand Hour. On Radio TFI.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing.
Join the conversation. You can reach the guys at 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428, on Twitter at Taxi Stand Hour. From a payphone, call collect.
I have no more than I did before, but now I've got all that I need. For I love you and I know you love me.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard. You are listening to the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI for this Sunday, December 12th of 2021. From the ShalanaMakesMeLaugh.com studio in Eagan, Minnesota, I am John Shannon. And from the Radio TFI Executive Tower in Queens, New York, it is the one and only and Van Ness. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, kids and kittens. And unfortunately, we're down a monkey this week. Mike Nesmith passed at the ripe old age of 78. We're down three monkeys now. Mickey Dolenz is the only one left. That aside, we trust you've all had a fantastic week. Things are going well as we ramble into the holiday season here. We got a few things to talk about today, not the least of which is the health and well-being of this guy to my immediate left. He's not feeling so well today. He got a stuffy nose.
Let's put it this way. It feels more like death warmed over, but
it gives you that ideal radio voice.
Oh, you know it.
Your voice is down there. Your voice is down there.
White has nothing on me, and I'm sure eventually I will get somewhat cleared out and cleaned out here, and I'll lose my puberty, and I'll sound like this again here before the end of the day. I promise.
We're counting on it.
I opened the window, influenza. So yeah,
I closed the window to avoid the draft.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? The funniest part about that whole thing is when I told you, or when
John sent me a text with that. I opened the window and influenza, and I thought he was just doing a joke.
Yeah.
So I sent him back a reply. I closed the window to avoid the draft, which was a pretty common joke back in the 60s and 70s, but you had to be there. Anyway.
And so, and then we were talking a little bit last night, and he, you really are sick. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have not been acting like a sick person. Unfortunately, things still have to happen. I still have to work. I thank God I still have all my COVID masks and a fresh can of Lysol.
There you go.
And an open window. So we were doing the best we could here, plugging away. But after the show today, I have no reason to even sit and watch TV today. The Vikings played on Thursday, so I won't even be sitting and watching football. I will be in my fetal position here in roughly 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Right. And I don't even get to watch the Dolphins today. They're off.
They're off today too. That's
This is the final bye week. This is the latest a bye week has ever been in the NFL. The Colts are off. I think there's 4 teams off today, but I know the Dolphins are off. And then we come back next week with the Jets at home, and then we Monday night against the Saints. So it's things are looking pretty good, and we'll get a little bit more into football in hour 2. Let's get this out of the way before we get into anything. I was thinking, and the dead segments, the birthday segment, which I used to enjoy, but you hated it for some reason, and it was your segment, it was your bit. I was thinking about that this morning. We might have to revive that.
Yeah. It depends. Here's the thing with that. Let's go ahead and get the markets out of the way, and then we'll talk about it.
It's the Radio TFI Market Watch, brought to you by nobody, unlike the studio in Minnesota. Uber closed the week at $35.85, up 82 cents. And the shocker of the week, Lyft closed the week at $39.51, up, are you ready for this? Hold on to your hats, 4 cents. This has been the Radio TFI Market Watch. Now back to John in the Charlotta Makes Us Laugh.com studio. I missed it.
It makes me laugh, by the way.
Hey, look, I was trying to squeeze it in. Let's talk about that.
See what happens when you try to squeeze things in.
Well, it's you can't put a piece of cooked spaghetti into a. Anyway.
It isn't as easy as it used to be to squeeze things in.
It is not. It is not. So let's start right there with the Shaletta Makes Me Laugh.com.
Shaletta Makes Me Laugh.com studio. Look.
You already blew the intro on it.
How did I did not? How did I do that?
You didn't mention it in the intro.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did. You better turn your head. I understand you only have one channel working, and as far as your sound is concerned, you better turn your headphones around to the good ear.
Maybe that's the problem.
That could very well be.
But let's talk about that.
Well, listen, this was just something that a lot of radio stations do this with different sponsors and whatnot. And I want to make something very clear right off the top. There is no money changing hands whatsoever in this situation. This is something that I decided just a token. This is just something that I just thought, what could I do? I can't sing. I can't dance. Too sick for any romance. So
you can't read.
Can't read. Well, there you go. There's that.
There's that.
So what can I do? And that turns out to be something that, hey, I can put that tag on. I wanted to make sure I had Shaletta's blessing to do that. I didn't want to just... Because we can get a little nutty sometimes, and after a while, you hope that you can maintain at least somewhat of a standard.
Goodness, that's what I've been trying to do for 5 years, and meanwhile, Motormouth over here is letting F-bombs fly. And
Shaletta will tell you. Shaletta will tell you herself. She doesn't exactly have the softest of tones herself. If you've ever,
I appreciate that, but she also has learned to self-discipline because she's on the radio.
And she's not, when she's on the radio, she's very self-disciplined when it comes to that. I will guarantee you that it gets a little bit, things get a little bit more open on her podcasts and whatnot.
Okay, so,
but all that notwithstanding, I just felt like it was one little way for us to reach out. I love what Shaletta's doing. She is she keeps things real. She could be a soft-spoken mealy mouse type person who is just doing what she has to do to get by and advance her career within celestial radio. But she when she gets on her show each and every week on CCO, she tells it like it is.
Minnesota's 830 WCCO.
Thanks for the warning.
You're welcome.
No, she exactly tells it like it is on that show each and every week. And it might even been at her, because she gets, I swear to God, there are some people I haven't seen it personally, but I have heard of some of the hate mail that she gets at WCCO, because let's face it, for the longest time, WCCO radio was nothing more than a bunch of old stogie white guys. It was getting to the point where I was getting bored with it, to be honest with you. And good morning, Rolando, in his infinite humor there. Unlike yourself, Johnny, we know you're full of BS there. But no, my point with that is that she could have taken a route that would have been a lot more subtle, a lot more, well, I'll read news, weather, and sports and what have you, and she could have gotten by, and she's very talented, so she wouldn't have had to have worried. But she decided that she had her spot, she had her show. She was going to keep it real, and I appreciate that. I love listening to her on Saturday mornings, and I invite everybody to go to ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com with her, not only her, but a group of very talented podcasters, and talking about a wide array of subjects. One of her pet projects right now is autism. She has, I think, if I'm not mistaken here, because that happens quite a bit, I believe that 3 of her 4 children are on the spectrum.
It is indeed 3.
And it's unless you have a child that's on the spectrum. Granny Annie worked with children on the spectrum, and you just don't know until you actually have a child how difficult and how challenging that can be in just going through your daily lives. So I invite you to check it out, ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com, and
that's the name of our Northern Command studio. Well, we still refer to it as the Northern Command studio.
Nah, I may trip on my tongue. It's been known to happen.
Because I like that name. I'm not saying I don't dislike the ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. It's not really a mouthful to say studio, but
yeah,
I do like Northern Command studio.
But
makes it sound like we're dug in, like we're an army.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I'm playing Army again. I'm 6 years old again.
By the way, 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428. That's the number if you'd like to join into our little fray here.
You only need half a thought today because I can only hear half of what's going on.
Well, yeah, that's
for some reason today, my computer has decided only to feed out one channel to me. Excuse me. So I'm only hearing in my left ear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not impossible to work with. It's just a little, I'm used to stereo and hearing everything and hearing the golden tones of one John. Look at me now, Shannon.
So, where do we
When do I
start?
get my when do I get my sponsor from my studio?
Whenever you come up with it.
I got to get it myself.
I did.
I'm struggling to sponsor the Market Watch, and you're no help.
Well, you know, what can I say?
You're no help.
I know a few. You've talked to Curry. Talk to oh Jesus! Now names.
By the way, I've been speaking of Curry, which is an app, a delivery app for people delivering real things. Depending on your vehicle, you can have any type of vehicle. Our good friend Steve Johnson works with them, and I know John downloaded and signed up on the app. I signed up as well. While I'm not taking work, I do get offers, and not unappealing offers, and some of it's to deliver stuff too. So hey now.
I came close to taking one from them that would have fit nicely in my little in my schedule. Unfortunately, what happens with them is a lot of times, I never get anything on the weekend, and that's when I'd be more than likely to take it.
Right.
I don't get any. I don't get any offers during like slow times with the cab, and I'm not going to trade one for the other.
Right. Well, you've also got to keep in mind our particular markets may not be as busy yet.
Very true.
I mean, again, I see it about every week or so. The other day I had about 3 or 4 different offers, and the offers will update. I've seen one where it updated about 4 different times, and it by the time it was all said and done, I think it had doubled in price, doubled in the offer.
Nobody jumped at the original offer, so they just kept up in the price. Is that the thing?
Kept up in the price? Yeah, and so there's again, hard to judge based on the fact that my particular market, and I'm not taking the work. We signed up for the Curry app. It's a suggestion of Steve Johnson because we were on his show, he was on our show, and just to be able to speak about it, and a little bit I see there seems to be I when they start penetrating more markets, I think this might be something. If you have a cargo van or a pickup truck or something like that, and you're not really into picking up passengers, this could actually be something. You're not delivering people's hot pockets or anything like that. This is real stuff that needs to get to real people, and businesses are using it to fill the gaps in their deliveries, especially last mile deliveries. They get it off the truck to their store. Now they got to get it. It's too big to send one of the salesmen out with it, but it's too small to hire a real big truck. So I see the potential for this.
The nice part about it is that, and this is what got me, you don't touch it. If you get sent to some place to pick up something, it is loaded for you. When you get to your destination, it is unloaded for you. You
drive, period.
And that, well, I tell you, our friend Rolando, he works as a truck driver for a food delivery, and he has to unload everything. That's his baby. He I'm assuming loads, but he also unloads when he gets to his various stops, and that has I've been a little bit since I've actually talked to him in person, but I know the wear and tear he talks about on his body when it comes to
sure.
And
sure. And look, we could go into that, but anyway, just sticking to the excuse me, I'm terribly sorry. But yeah, I've been getting stuff on the curry, and I could see where it's feasible. Again, this particular market, I guess, needs to be bumped up a little bit more. But anyway, that's just a little something. There's your little ad. I'll keep looking for a sponsor for the Market Watch. But how about Lyft up 4 cents?
Ooh,
4
boy.
pennies. 4 pennies.
Baby. I better jump on that while it's still hot.
I'll tell you what. So we've lost 3 people this week. It's the celebrity trio. We lost Mike Nesmith of the Monkees. We lost Senator Bob Dole. I just found out this morning we lost author Anne Rice. Some may not think she's a celebrity, but she is a person of note. She's a notable person.
Okay.
So,
and now let's talk real briefly about the numbers of people who were killed this weekend.
Oh my!
With those storms that rolled through here. I wanted to, and I do plan on having a little bit of humor again with our friend Shaletta about something semi-related to this, but the south end of this storm system that rolled through Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, and Kentucky raised some serious havoc. There were reports that there was one storm cell in particular that traveled some 200 miles. Kentucky is in, oh my God, Kentucky is
horrible shape. They've lost like 400 people. It's a shame. It's,
I can't even do the stories I've seen on Twitter. I've seen several stories on Twitter where different politicians, Rand Paul, one of the unnamed congressmen from Kentucky, all screaming for help now, and rightfully so. I can't even bring myself to dwell on the fact that these individuals have said, oh, no, when it comes to helping other places, other disaster. We have to be better than that. I don't even want to consider the idea of how politicians in the state of Kentucky, because that's part of the problem with Kentucky to begin with, is their politicians, the people they keep sending to office. But that notwithstanding, Kentucky needs your help right now. So I haven't seen anything as far as officially from the Red Cross or the other organization, but if you can find it in your heart to send a little something to the Red Cross to go towards helping the people in Kentucky. Not like Kentucky got the worst of it, but like I said, there's also Arkansas. There was Illinois. I understand there was a death in Illinois as well from this. So,
well, if you help the Red Cross, that help goes out across where it's needed.
It gets spread exactly where it's needed. Exactly, you're absolutely right.
So, do what you can when you can. Literally every little bit helps. So. Speaking of Rand Paul, he popped up this week. It's an amusing little bit here. I want to play just a few seconds.
And we are complicit. We are arming the Saudis and allowing this to happen. Offensive, defensive, they shouldn't get any of our weapons. We should stop selling them any weapons until they stop starving the country of Yemen.
President, I find myself in the somewhat uncomfortable and unusual position of agreeing with Senator Paul.
I hate to say it, but I'm right there with Bernie Sanders.
It's uncomfortable. I agree with Bernie, but he's not wrong in that particular case. That's one for you, Rand Paul. That's one out of Rand Paul right now. Just worry about your constituents. Put your partisan politics aside and worry about your people. That's
and to be fair, from what I understand, he is.
Well,
from
good.
What I've seen. From what I'm seeing, everybody right now is focused on the state, as well they should be. Unlike Ted Cruz in Texas, who pisses off the Cancun after everything happens there.
Ted Cruz, go fuck yourself.
Pretty much. So our hearts and minds are with the folks in Kentucky, and it's going to take a long time to get things built back up, but
they'll do it. They'll do it. They'll get so let's move on. John, I watched these two clips, and as you folks know, we like to play a lot of clips every week. And what we do is we both, pull stuff that we like, and then I clean them up just to make them presentable for broadcast. So there's these two clips here that the Boebert and with the Nitwit Rittenhouse. And I really have no idea what they're about. So, John, I'll let you. I'm really not sure what's going on with
which direction do you go first?
Let's go with Boebert.
Okay, let's go ahead and go with Boebert.
I'm going to play it first, or
yeah.
We have some serious crises that are taking place in our country that are completely unnecessary. We have wars that are taking place in the Middle East now that is completely unnecessary. We had peace in the Middle East. And now I serve with the Jihad Squad, who refuses to stand with and bless Israel.
Well,
that's right, because she keeps using that inane phrase.
Yes, that's and that's a direct shot at Minnesota Representative. Excuse me, Elon.
Anyway.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
She keeps taking the same shot, this Jihad Squad, which, she already has been called out for making up a completely fabricated story. I guess every fabricated story would be completely made up, but about this encounter in an elevator, which did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's the kind of person that annoys the living daylights out of me, because she will, behind people's backs, she makes all these comments, but wouldn't dare do it to somebody's face. So,
oh, absolutely.
Now, what about this? Rittenhouse. Should I play it, or you want to talk about it first?
Yeah, go ahead and play this first.
Are you going to sue the pants off the media? That's what I want to know.
We're going to focus on our one fight we're dealing with right now. The guy who's been lying, Lynn Wood and John Pierce. We're going to focus on them right now, but maybe down the line in the future. We don't know yet, but we're going to focus on those liars.
Lynn Wood.
See,
good.
Rittenhouse there, and I trust him about as far as I can throw him. But right now, he is working on damage control as far as his brand. He sees a chance. He sees that he's got a little celebrity now. He's been acquitted of murder. He's got himself a little celebrity. He's on his little talking circuit.
His redemption tour.
Yeah, there you go. And all of a sudden, he is picking on the seditionists, the ones that are behind and backing the insurrection. And it's all because it's just a matter of survival for him. He figures this is the best route that he can take. He goes, whew, I'm not going to be somebody's prison bitch. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to try to redeem myself, redeem my name. So now he's going out and chasing after Trump loyalists. And I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. So what if he calls Lynn Wood a liar? That's that's kind of like saying that the sky is blue and the sun is shining in Arizona. We know that. We obviously know that. We don't need this little wannabe redneck Rambo to all of a sudden change his spots and decide that he is going to call out these people. There's enough people calling out Linwood and that squad of people that are spreading the lies about the election. So we go find another train to jump on or jump in front of. Or
And Lynn Wood is a certified nutcase anyway, and he's not a journalist. So that's
well, that's there's always that.
But keep in mind, which apparently young Mr. Rittenhouse is forgetting. Remember all that, you're there supposedly with your Proud Boys and all that who are fighting for freedom and free speech. Well, guess what? You're a public figure now. People get to say stuff about you, and most of it you're not going to like. And too bad. It's just too bad. You can't, you think you're hot stuff now. You're being coddled by the radical right. But these days are going to end. And there's going to come a time you will pay the price for what you did, sir. There are 2 people dead and 1 injured. Because you were a kid with a toy. Anyway. Speaking of people shooting stuff up, I want to play this ad. I believe we played it a while back, but I came across it again, and it never goes out of style. If you're listening on the radio, you'll get the gist of it just from the audio. And for those of you watching at home or wherever you may be, it's just take a watch, take a listen.
These new sneakers are just what I needed for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class.
These colored pencils, too. These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver. I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Wow.
Pretty upsetting for those of you who did not see the visuals. For every one of these, the innocuous statements made by these kids. For instance, the first kid talking about his new sneakers. He's running from a school shooter. All of them are involved in a school shooting. A young lady talking about her jacket is using it to tie closed some doors. Kid with the skateboard uses the skateboard to bust out a window, etc., etc. The last young lady is hiding in a bathroom, texting her mother that she loves her. And when you finally hear the door open and footsteps come in, and why are our kids living like this? Why do we allow this? Why? Why? I mean, the school shootings are up again. We just had one a couple of weeks ago in Michigan. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. All of you patriots out there, all of you, freedom, America's great, blah, blah, blah. And yet you don't think twice about our babies being shot and killed. The worst thing I had to do as a kid was being in Midtown Manhattan in the 60s. We did have air raid drills. And we would have to occasionally climb under the desk. And every day at noon, a siren went off. They tested it every day at high noon. Mm-hmm. You could hear it literally all across the city. But that was a threat against us as a people, not shooting little ones. And
the sad part about that is that you think about what they did we never went through that. I a couple years removed from that, and when I was going to school, our biggest things were fire drills and tornado drills every once in a while. I don't believe we ever had one of those, like an air raid drill. But but I don't think that kids. I think back. I don't know how it was because I never experienced one. But I think for the most part, having something like that was almost just kind of a nice little break from the doldrum of a normal of a school day.
It wasn't.
The air raid drills. You don't think so?
No.
Well, were you in real? I mean, Sid, honestly, were you in real fear?
Well, it was a reality. Again, we were in Midtown Manhattan. If they were gonna, we were just a mile from the Empire State Building, which at the time, that probably would have been the target.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But no, I just don't think it compares to the fear that kids are dealing with today. As far as
no. This is look. If an air raid or something like that were to happen, again, this would have been the entire city involved.
Yeah.
Here you have one of your peers. Again, look at this situation in what was it, Oakland, Michigan? There's that video of the kids in the classroom, and only the kid is the shooter is pretending to be one of the sheriff's deputies, and only because he slips up and uses the word "bro," and that tipped off at least one of the kids, and they all got out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just anyway.
Yeah, that's and look at and there are so many ways that could have been prevented. And congratulations to the prosecutors there for rounding up what the heck was the name of that white trash family?
I don't remember, and I don't want to know. And
something or other, but I am so happy that they are being charged along with everybody else, along with the kid. I'm happier than hell that they are being charged as well there. So
guns are not toys. A handgun is not designed to be a gift for a 15-year-old.
No, absolutely not. Excuse me. Now, it's funny. It's not funny, but it's just I had to go and look and get the name. James and Jennifer Crumbly.
Okay.
If that name does not scream white trash,
well, don't come on. Let's not go picking on names now. They could have been anybody.
I'm sorry.
Their name could have been Wentworth.
Wow.
All right, let's not do that. They're white trash for sure, and actually, that's an insult to white trash.
Oh, you got a good point there.
We're not hearing you, John.
I said you have a good point there.
Oh, now I hear you.
So 754-800 chat, 754-800-2428. That's the number if you want to join on board in this conversation. Let's cleanse the palate just a little bit.
I was just thinking of that.
I want to go back to that storm that raised havoc in across the midsection of the country. We already told you about what happened on the south side of that storm system. Let's talk for a minute or two what happened on the north side of that system that dumped anywhere up to 20 inches of snow in the Twin Cities region. There was a small band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was a small band the official total at MSP Airport was 11. I saw 11 and a half or something to that effect.
John, are we going to see that video of you shoveling out the driveway and for your neighbors as well and doing the whole street, because that's the kind of guy you are?
Yeah, right. I'm glad you brought that up, because so the night just before it started snowing, I don't mention him much, but I have a friend works the same company as I do. His name is Ken.
Ken Coons?
No.
Oh,
no, hardly.
You know, Ken always forgetting. Come home.
Anyways, he called me up and he said, "By the way, I just bought a snowblower. I will come down and I will take care of your driveway." And you're not going to drive. Well, he literally lives about 30 miles away from me. But no, I'll tell you what, all you got to do is give me some gas money. So, well, okay, fair enough. So he came down, nice Briggs and Stratton engine snowblower. To hell with these electric snowblowers. I have a neighbor that has an electric snowblower, and he pooped out 2 batteries just getting half of his driveway done.
I have a question, John. How is it you live in Snowmageddon land and you do not have a snowblower?
Because I don't know, to be brutally honest with you, and when we first moved here, when we first all moved into this house, we talked about getting a snowblower. We couldn't get all the parties to agree to chip in on one and what have you. And it just got to the point where I
think there's a pretty simple solution to that. The parties who don't want to chip in for it get a shovel.
And they had been. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't doing a whole lot of shoveling.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
And but so nonetheless, he came and blew us all out there with his snowblower. But we had right in front of our front window here, we had 15 inches of snow. And our dear friend Shaletta, I finally get to have a little bit of fun here.
Well.
With my dear Shaletta. She has been talking about how she's ready for Minnesota. She got on her show. She was actually filling in for Chad Hartman on Friday, the day that the snow was coming down, and she was you Minnesota, how come we're closing schools? How come we're closing schools early? She got part of why are we closing remote learning early? She was all on that, and she was talking, where's our hardy, tough Minnesotans? We embrace this. And then the subject she got to talking to somebody about ice fishing and being on the ice. And our dear Shaletta, who is embracing Minnesota, wants us to be tough Minnesotans and brave this snow. She won't go out on the ice. She won't go on the ice.
Atta girl. Look, she's smart. She wants the rest of you tough Minnesotans to go out and shovel the path, and so she like the queen she is, can get out there and survey all that is hers. She is not designed. She is not built for snow shoveling. She is designed for overseeing and making sure that the world goes according to her plan, which will benefit you and the rest of you peon Minnesotans. You take care of her, she will take care of you. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Well, and to be very transparent, I a few times when I was younger, I went out on I thought I was going to try to ice fish. I think I tried it as early as like when I was 13 years old or something like that, and I tried it once. That was enough for me.
Well, first off, wouldn't you have to be into fishing for starters?
That's part of it. Fishing, for me, fishing is a fool on one end waiting for a jerk on the other.
Hey, now there you go. I like that. My full experience with ice fishing comes from Grumpy Old Men. That's one of the greatest movies ever.
I know, and they have whole communities, literally. I mean, it was very accurately portrayed in Grumpy Old Men. But unfortunately, what's happened over the last several years, a lot of it has to do with global warming. Our time, the ice isn't as safe as it used to be because we've had, you'll get several days of below freezing weather. Now, later on this week here in the tundra, we're supposed to get up to around 50. It's actually supposed to get rain.
Wow.
So
that's unusual for you guys this time of year, isn't it?
Exactly. And so while I want to give Shaletta a ration of crap about not wanting to go out on the ice, the fact of the matter is I have no interest in it myself. I am not Jesus Christ. I am not going to walk on water. I do not care if it's frozen or not. So
yeah, but you don't even shovel your own driveway. So I mean, come on, you've got no standing to talk. I was driving by, going into the Midtown Tunnel the other day, and I went a way that I usually don't go, and it's where they store all the support vehicles, tow trucks and all that, maintenance vehicles for the tunnel and its immediate environs. And there was a line of trucks with snow plows on them. Must have been 4 or 5 of them. I'm sitting in traffic. We're inching our way along, and every one of them is brand spanking new. Really? Now, from what I understand, the city of New York over the past some odd years before I got back here, they're getting a little better being on top of the snow removal. They're not being reactive; they're being proactive. Mm-hmm. And if there's even a hint, and there was talk of these trucks would be there anyway, but we did have a little 10-15 minute snowfall. The air was cold enough, the ground was not. No accumulation. But they do have equipment, and you can see it. The last couple of times we've had snow here, before it starts snowing, you drive around this city, there are salt trucks spread out and snow plow. And I know Minnesota's got to be like that. You got to have everything already. Anyway, so hey, what you ready to bust open a bag of chips?
Let's bust open a bag of chips.
Here we go.
Devin Nunes is quitting Congress.
Devin Nunes is leaving Congress.
There's no chance of winning.
He's going to run Trump's media empire.
In order to obtain nude pictures of Trump.
Okay, first, Trump doesn't even have a Twitter account, much less a media empire.
TV ratings are way down.
He's so broke, he uses Putin's Netflix password.
Putin was extremely strong and powerful.
So, Trump empire?
I have some bad news for you.
Devin Nunes is a failed dairy farmer.
That's correct.
He has no experience in tech except for owning a digital watch and watching porn on his iPhone.
It appears like that happened.
His lips, firmly glued to Trump's ass, was going to cost him next fall, so he chose to go all in on Big Lie Part 2.
One of the most popular journalists on the right.
We're going to kill everybody.
Trump media will be 24/7 Proud Boy white supremacists.
Stand back and stand by.
Hey, but Trump's media empire already has its first sponsor.
Looks like you're not sleeping well.
And what will happen to Devin Nunes? You seen Rudy lately?
Dude, don't do this to me.
Goddamn right.
Where is Kamal? Storming the Capitol!
I, for one, cannot wait until this gets open.
Trump's media empire.
Trump's media empire. I'm assuming that he's talking about social media. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well.
And I cannot wait because I'm going to see how long. It's all about free speech. Remember, all about free speech. I am going to be the bull in the china shop, and there are a lot of people that are. I see a lot of people on Twitter and whatnot that said, "Oh, we got to stop it. We can't let him have it." No, open it up. Open it up. That's like who was? Oh, Chip himself, as a matter of fact, suggested that Bolbert and
Green,
Bolbert, well, Green too, and
Gates,
Gates, the Gozar,
mm-hmm.
the Gosarian, that they all be booted off of Twitter. No, I got a better idea. Take the shackles off the rest of us and let us at them.
Yeah.
Open it up. Let me call Bolbert a filthy hornblower.
Okay. Okay, you walked the line there, but
let me do that. Let me and let other people in there and show her and tell her, look, bitch, you're not welcome here. Go away. But you see, the thing is, and again, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's their game, their rules. I get that. So whenever you suggest or whenever you do stuff like that on those platforms, you're gonna wind up doing time in Twitter jail.
And that's right. Because how much do you pay to be part of the Twitterverse?
Absolutely not a dime. Not
No,
a dime.
so
Worst that happens is I get to watch or get to see a few of their promoted tweets.
I just mute all that stuff. I mute it. As soon as it comes up, I mute it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hey, I got a question for you.
I'll see if I have an answer for you.
How much is gas where you are?
Gas right now, we are in the low $3 a gallon range.
Yeah, that's where I think I paid $3.39 yesterday.
We're not even close to that. We're right now. I think the highest I've seen is like $3.29. That's the highest I've seen.
Yeah, well. My understanding is that gas is now going for well over $7 in California. Have you heard this?
Well, somebody that supposedly pumps his own gas all the time.
Yeah, here you go.
You look at gas prices. Gasoline was at $1.87 a gallon, and now in California it's over $7, $7.77 to be exact, and it's going to be catching up with a lot of other parts of the country.
He wouldn't know a gas pump if it hit him in the face.
I'd try.
Yes, of course. We all would. There's $7.77. Now, I'm not going to say that there isn't an oddball gas station somewhere in California along the coast.
Desert, yeah, or out, somewhere out in the desert where there's no gas stations for 100 miles in either direction. Yeah, I totally get that.
You can see it. I mean, it always used to strike me as funny. There's a gas station. If you go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as you leave the airport to go north, as soon as you get into Fort Lauderdale, there's a big road, State Road 84. It literally used to be the way to get to the West Coast. Anyway, if you make a right turn, you are in Port Everglades, and that is where all the fuel storage is. The tankers come in, and the place is full. Literally a fuel storage. There is a gas station just outside the entrance to Port Everglades. Also happens to be the first and last gas station you see coming in and out of the airport for rental cars. Mm-hmm. Without fail, they are always the highest priced gas.
Of course.
And not by just a penny or two. Usually a good 25 to 40 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And it always struck me as, but the funny thing is that it's not just the location, but right behind it are 3 huge fuel storage tanks. They could literally run a hose from the tank. They don't even need a truck to bring it in. They can literally just tap into the tank.
Well,
but that's the oil industry. I mean, what are we going to do? It's
well, you and I probably know better than, and anybody that drives for a living and has to pay for that privilege out of their own pocket. Right now I'm paying, I think this is probably the most I've paid in quite a while. I think for the week, I think I paid a little over I think it was $220 for the week.
That sounds about right.
But that's the cost of doing business. It's not, in the grand scheme of things, gas right now is costing me roughly $40 to $50 a week more than it did at this time last year. And this time last year, we were in the middle of the pandemic. Business was slow.
But you weren't making as much either. So actually,
you're right.
So actually, the percentage of fuel to income was probably higher.
Right.
And so, hey, before we jump off here, I want to take a second to remind folks on Saturdays now, during the winter, during these cold months, we've got hot stove baseball here on Radio TFI, 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock Eastern. We'll be playing baseball games, the classic stuff we played during the pandemic. We'll be picking them out every Saturday, starting at 1 o'clock. Stuff ranging from the 30s up till the 70s, up through the 70s, and hope you take a listen. And also 10 p.m. Saturday nights on Radio TFI, 10 p.m. Eastern, we're playing classic concerts. This last night we played Yes from 1974. What a great show. And we got a whole bunch of stuff. We've got a lot of old, a classic, I should say, King Biscuit Flower Hour. If you know what the King Biscuit Flower Hour, you'll enjoy this. If you don't, call us in the second hour and I'll explain it all to you, or look it up on your Wikipedia. But we're going to be adding a few more things on Saturdays now, just to break up the doldrums of winter. But hot stove baseball and classic concerts. So join us on Saturdays for all that. And I know
for those of you who didn't know, the team that's known as the Houston Astros wasn't always known as the Astros.
No, they were not.
It was actually probably one of the most unique names in sports, the Colt 45s.
That is correct. And then when they moved into the Astrodome, they adopted the name the Astros.
Yeah, that's
and yesterday. Well, not at the time. Because that was the first indoor baseball stadium. Yesterday we played from 1962, the year both teams were started. We had the New York Mets visiting the Houston Colt 45s in Colt Stadium, as they called it at the time. I was listening to Ralph Kiner. It was the Mets broadcast. But anyway, join us on Saturdays for that. And we have a few more things scheduled coming up. We'll talk more about that as we progress into the holidays.
It's that time. We'll be back with hour number 2 here. You're listening to the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI.
RadioTFI.
You found the Taxi Stand Hour.
The worst talk radio I ever heard in my life.
On Radio TFI.
Join the conversation. You can reach the guys at 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428, on Twitter at Taxi Stand Hour. From a payphone, call collect.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Radio now. Here we come.
Coming over tonight. Do you wanna drink? Hey, do you wanna party? Hey, honey, this is old Hank, ready to get the thing started. We cooked a pig in the ground, got some beer on ice, and all my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. Just walk through the door. Got a little whirlpool just made for 10. And you can jump out and you can jump in. You can do anything that you want to do. But don't you step on my cowboy boots. Do you want to drink? Hey, do you want to party? Hey, this is old Hank, ready to get the summer started. Are coming over tonight. Do you wanna drink? Hey, do you wanna party? Hey, hey, this is rockin' Randall Hank, ready to get the summertime started. We cooked a pig in the ground, we got some beer on ice. All my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. That's right.
the trick plays. It's been here for 20 years, and here it's gonna stay. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause Monday Night Football's coming on tonight. Hey, are you a big fan? Hey, do you want to party? We got Frank and Al and Dan ready to get this thing started. They got the teams on the field and they turned up the lights. And all my rowdy friends are here for Monday night football, that is. When those red hot teams play under the lights, those X's and O's just seem to ignite. Now I know some guys that are ready to blitz, and some big old dudes will be taking their licks. I bet they're cheering like we are all over the land, jumping up and down like the fans in the stands. Nobody does a football like an ABC. Why, it's the only game for people like me. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party? And rockin' Randall Hank, ready to get the good time started. You gotta hit 'em, gotta dodge 'em, get the play called right. All my rowdy friends are here for Monday night. Yes, everybody's a fan. Hey, this is the biggest party, man. We got Frank and Al and Dan. They really got it started.
All right, and we're back for hour number 2 of the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI and on the Radio TFI streaming network. Once again, from the ShalanaMakesMeLaugh.com studio in Eagan, Minnesota, I'm John Shannon. And in the Radio TFI executive tower, where they made that executive decision to air that piece of human vermin. We'll get into it real quick before we start. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Anyways, welcome back again, the one and only Ed Van Ness. Once again, good morning, sir.
Well, good morning, kids and kittens. And like you, I have my claws out and ready to go. Meow. We trust you've had a fine and fantastic week, and I'm ready for some football.
Well, I am too. But I'm going to tell you something before we get started with this. I will guarantee you, first off, I'll guarantee you that YouTube and Faceplant will probably edit both of those.
It's okay.
And it is what it is.
I came across the original, which most people don't realize, that was a song in and of itself. The Monday Night Football theme started out as "All My Rowdy Friends Are Coming Over Tonight."
Right.
And when I played it, I said, okay, I'm going to put this, you know what? Let's put the Monday Night theme song with it.
Ed, I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that's known me for any length of time knows that back 15, 20 years ago, I was a huge Hank Williams Jr. fan. I have been to, hold on.
No, because I want you to understand, okay? I am cutting you off here. I didn't even consider the piece of trash he's become. I was more interested in the music and a couple of laughs. I get your point.
Okay.
I get your point.
I just want to tell you that I felt like, as a fan, as a mega fan of Hank Jr., I felt like I was kind of betrayed.
I see that. I get that.
You know, and I got to tell you something. Yeah.
All right. Let's not be down here. This is hour 2. This is light and fluffy. We played some music. Like I said, some people are gonna, that song sounds familiar. Of course, that's the Monday Night Football. Most people don't realize it. That's why I play them. Had nothing to do with Hank and his politics. And again, I'm with you 100% on that. And I'll be quite honest with you, John. It never even entered my mind.
I'm sure it didn't. I'm sure it didn't, Dan. I'm not.
And by the way, the little Monday night bumper in between, I did that myself. I put that all together.
I'm sure you did.
It was a lot of work last night.
You do fantastic work here.
Keep going.
Anyways, let's talk about real football, huh?
Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Some football?
Are
you ready for some football?
Will you just start the thing already?
It's time for John and Ed versus the Spread, your weekly foray into the exciting world of pigskin prognostication. Each week, John, I'm ready for some football Shannon. Gerald, the computer who wears tennis shoes, and I will each choose professional football games and select winners using the point spread. At the end of the season, the winner will claim possession of the RadioTFI Gilchrist Ceremonial Sippy Cup. Extra points can be earned by going for it with a 2 or 3 point conversion, if we have the nerve. Ladies and gentlemen, kids and kittens, it's John and Ed versus the Spread. Well. Let's get ourselves up to date on where we stand here. Look at that. It's close now, John. Do you see how close it is? John and I are each tied with 18 points. And Gerald has caught up spectacularly with 17 points. And let's take a look at how that all transpired last week. So John picked up 2 big points last week. He went against his home team. I went with my home team, who are off this week, by the way. I struck out mightily. The one that really burns me is Jacksonville. I knew I should. I was having trepidations about that game, and I said it during. The longer I thought about it, the more I thought it was a bad pick. But I stuck to my guns. Now, our boy Gerald. Look at the week our boy Gerald had. Gerald picked up 4 points. Not only did he get all 3 games, but he picked up a 2-pointer. But he went for 2 with the Chargers over Cincinnati, and boy, oh boy, did he have a week or what? Hokey smoke! It was.
He could have went. No, he wouldn't have been able to go for 3. He'd have crashed if he went for 3. I just looked.
Oh yeah, no. He couldn't have. No. No, he would have. It would not have worked out to his liking, and but be that as it may, as we like to say. Excuse me, I'm just getting my. So let's talk about this week, John. Let's start with you. What do you got?
This was a tough week because this involved teams that I don't generally follow or pay a lot of attention to. And as the screen disappeared, I do have mine in front of me here, where let's start with this one here. The Cowboys are traveling to Washington, D.C. to play the football team, where the Cowboys are 4.5-point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys giving up 4.5.
Okay, I'm going to start not at the top like I normally would, but those New York Football Giants, who got their ass whooped last week by who beat them? The Miami Dolphins. They go to Los Angeles. They're playing the Chargers. I don't care what the Chargers did last week. I'm taking the Giants giving up, getting 10 points. Getting 10 points. Gerald had a week last week now, didn't he? Gerald, what do you got?
Good morning, gentlemen. A show of hands, please, of all who scored 4 points last week. If I had hands, I would raise mine. Let's start the week with the San Francisco 49ers visiting Cincinnati. The Niners are giving up 1.5 points on the road. Go Niners.
Well, there you go. He's taking the Niners. John, your second pick, please.
My second pick, the Denver Broncos are hosting the Detroit Liedowns. I almost went with the dog on this one because Detroit suddenly is inspired, but I think their candle is getting ready to burn out. They're going in Denver. They're 10-point dogs. I'm going to take Denver and giving up 10 points.
So you mean after one win, you think they had a tie and a win, and that's it for them?
I think the party's over.
Okay. My second pick, the New Orleans Saints visit the New York Jets. I am going for 2 on this one. I am giving up 13.5 points with the Saints because I don't think the Jets can get out of their own damn way. And the Saints will beat them down so badly when they limp into South Florida next week. They may have to cancel the game because it'll be so pathetic. Gerald, your second pick, please.
It's time to break this competition wide open. The Baltimore Ravens take on the Cleveland Browns in the shadow of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going for 2 with Baltimore, giving up 13.5 points.
Wow, he's really looking to pull ahead now, isn't he? John, what do you got?
Yeah.
Final pick.
You realize how embarrassing this is going to be if he winds up winning this thing?
What's your final pick?
By the way, just a quick note on the Denver Detroit game. Our friend Steve Johnson. This will be an interesting game for him. He's currently resides in the Denver area, as memory serves.
But he's from Detroit.
And he's from Detroit. This will be an interesting game for him.
Yeah,
but anyways, enough of that. Haven't picked on the Chiefs for a while. We're going to pick the Chiefs 9.5 point favorites at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs, giving up 9.5 points. It seems like they have finally figured out what the hell they're doing wrong. They've been on a roll here of late. So go Chiefs.
And I think just the opposite. I think the Raiders are going to roll into Kansas City. And while they may not win, but I think 9.5 points is a nice cushion. So I'm taking the Raiders over the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Gerald's third and final pick. What do you got for us, pal?
For my final pick, I'm going all the way. The Chicago Bears visit the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. My tennis shoes and I are going for 3. The Packers are being spotted 20.5 points. Eat my dust, losers.
Wow. That's that's pretty ballsy.
Okay, so now wait a minute. So he is picking the Bears to beat the Packers.
And since the Bears are the underdog, he gets the minimum 20.5 points.
All I can say is it was nice knowing you while you were close there, Gerald.
Well, let's sum up what we're doing here. John's going with the how about them Cowboys? Dallas Cowboys giving up 4.5 points, visiting the Washington football team. Likes the Broncos, giving up 10 at home at Mile High over the Detroit Liedowns, as we like to say, or as we like to call it, the Steve Johnson Bowl, the Conundrum Bowl. John likes his Kansas City Chiefs, giving up 9.5 points against the Raiders. Meanwhile, I'm going the opposite way on that game. I like the Raiders getting 9.5 points in Kansas City. I'm also taking the Giants plus 10 in LA versus the Chargers, and I'm taking New Orleans, going for 2, giving up 13.5 here at MetLife Stadium against the NYJETS Jets just end the season. Gerald, meanwhile, Gerald's going for broke here. He's He likes San Francisco, giving up 1.5 visiting the Queen City, Cincinnati, Ohio. And then we get to the meaty stuff. Baltimore visits Cleveland. Gerald takes the Ravens, going for 2, giving up 13.5 points. And finally, the Bears were the underdogs, but Gerald's going for 3, taking the Bears, giving up 20.5 points in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. So there you have it, kids and kittens. That is John and Ed versus the spread for the week. And John, what is it we always like to say when it comes to if you're going to use real money to bet using our picks? What is it we always like to say?
Well, if you're going to use real money and take our word to bet on these games, you're probably the same person who thinks that the real insurrection was in November, and like Donald Trump says that January 6th was just a protest.
All right, and with that concludes John versus the spread this week. Jeez, I went a little dark there, but okay. Now, if Gerald manages to sweep this week, that would be 6 big points he picks up. 6 big points. And just so you know, there was a meeting of the commissioners during this week, and we had forgotten to get Gerald squared away for the preseason picks of division winners and wild cards. So we got that all squared away. And it's interesting, some of the picks that a random computer will make.
Yeah.
So, and of course, that's all bonus points for the end of the season. There's nothing that's got nothing to do with the weekly play, but yeah, he's going for it all this week. He's getting nasty about it too. Call us
Any idea what I want to talk about next?
I don't know. Actually, I don't. I am actually. I should, but I don't.
Well, I think I hinted towards it there towards the end of this last segment. I don't know. That really wasn't a hint. That was a direct.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I'm gonna put my feet up. You go ahead. Hold on. Let's start the rant engine. Go ahead, John. It's all fired up, primed, pumped.
And I'm going to be as ready for this as I possibly can, keeping in consideration my
reading
condition. No, I'm not reading.
Oh, okay.
I read enough of this to make me want to gag in the trash can here.
I read enough to gag in the trash can, but not enough to actually understand what it means.
No, I think anybody could understands what this means. Trump was on with Laura Ingraham here. I want to say it was the same interview where he was talking about the gas prices. If I'm not mistaken.
It was.
And so he was spouting on about how the real insurrection was in November for the election, and that all that happened on January 6th was just a protest. That's all that was. His speech, that was calming. That had a calming effect on everybody.
I was calm.
Were you calm? I tell you, I was
not.
Go ahead.
Continue.
And there are people that are actually, oh yeah, hey, there, that's right. Thanks, Donnie. That was that's true. Ken Newton's weighed in on Facebook on the promo that I laid there. Trump was right. Our buddy, the Canadian Trump train on Twitter, he posted something, but then for some reason I don't know if he took it down or if Twitter shot it down, but he posted a reply basically along the same lines. Listen, I, for one, have just about had enough of this talk of how the election was rigged against Donald Trump. Because first off, I'll tell you what, had Trump not come into this election in 2016, had he come in, remember saying that if he won, it'd be all great, but if he lost, there had to have been something wrong.
He said the same thing leading up to the election last year. And right then and there, you knew he was not going to go quite into that good night.
Of course not. Of course not.
You knew it before, but
but the problem is people are listening, are paying attention to this. They're saying, yeah, excuse me. Yeah. Pardon me while I get cough up a lung there.
Take your time. It's only live radio.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, the people who are the committee who's investigating the January 6th riot, they need to get off. They need to start producing some results. I've been patient with them. I think a lot of Americans have been patient. It's time to start getting subpoenas. We need to start getting people put behind, and not just the peons that were there. We need to start getting the Lauren Boeberts, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Gates, Gozar. The list goes on. These people need to be held accountable for their actions leading up to the 6th, including Rudy Giuliani, including none other than Donald Trump. This needs to happen. We need to start getting serious about this, because you know it's going to wind up happening, because it happens in every political cycle. Does not matter. Sadly, unless there's some miracle, come 2022, the Republicans are probably going to wind up gaining control of the House. And then this whole committee is just going to be completely buried.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to stall things, and things are going to get buried. We need to start producing the results. And
so
quite
what
frankly,
you're saying, I'm sorry.
Quite frankly, they just, in simple terms, they need to shit or get.
So what you're suggesting, if I'm understanding you correctly, is that we should all get together and go to Washington, and I don't know, maybe a couple thousand of us, and go to the Capitol as a group, thousands of us, and insist that we be able to go inside to speak to the January 6th Commission.
Did I say anything like that?
No, I'm saying that.
Okay.
I'm bringing it full circle. We may have to attack the Capitol to get them to look into people attacking the Capitol.
Oh, well, geez, if we throw in a few black people, there'll definitely be some.
Maybe two somethings.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, just before you continue on, a little couple of details here. Only 7% of the January 6th insurgents were jobless, and more than half of the group had a white-collar job or owned their own business. There were doctors, architects, a Google field ops specialist, the CEO of a marketing firm, a State Department official, and a quote, the last time America saw middle-class whites involved in violence was the expansion of the second KKK. So there's something to chew on.
Yeah. They need to get on it. This commission needs to kick it up a notch.
Yeah. Well.
And while there's still support.
Mm-hmm.
Because, unfortunately, the other thing that's happening is that, we are a microwave news society these days. If we want instant results, and I'm pushing that kind of but this is far from instant. This is, we can't, in this case, what's going to wind up happening is this country is going to wind up losing interest. We're going to have the next big things coming, and suddenly there's not going to be the taste for doing this anymore. There's going to be a lot of people who are responsible for a lot of bad things. They're going to wind up going unpunished for it, and I'm truly afraid of that. So, well, and that's all the rant I can come up with right now.
Well, I mean, it's valid viewpoints, and from the outside, it does seem that things are moving glacially slow. And all I can do is keep up the hope that what's going on behind the scenes is what needs to be done. Justice moves very slowly. And again, you want to do it the right way and not be. Now, my understanding is that it's because of all the little people, as you put it. They've had 250, 275 people already come in and testify. Not the big names, but they're able to take this testimony. They don't need Steve Bannon to say anything. They've already got enough. They can. They've got cases against everybody based on a little bit from here, a little bit from there, from people involved and all that. So, I think that when it's all laid out there, the convictions will come. And always remember, vote in 22 so that we don't have to worry about it.
That's a valid point.
We need a definitive Democratic majority in both the House and the Senate to make sure what happened never happens again. We got an uphill climb because as Democrats, we turn the other cheek. And the modern day Republican is more than happy not only to slap that cheek too, but also kick you in the shins once for good measure. They are not to be trusted. I'm sorry. I'm not saying individual people who, have a different viewpoint from me are not to be trusted. I'm talking about the people that we've said, okay, you can represent us. I mean, they're not interested in governing. They're interested in power, period. They're interested in power. And they've drank the Kool-Aid on Trump, and they're running around like nuts. So this November, and it is now this November, it's less than a year away. If you're not gonna vote for Ed, which I highly recommend you do, for Congress, not that Senate thing, that's 6 years, but vote out your Republican Congress people. Vote out your Gosars. Vote out your Greens, your Boberts, your Gateses. And we got to get rid of them. I've got no problem with Republicans in Congress. I got a problem with Republicans who are batshit crazy and calling for things that are just. We know who they are. We know who they are. And I got to say one more thing. I just sometimes I miss the time when there was only one idiot per village.
And I got to thinking about this here, and this is another one. We lost. I don't know if you remember or if you mentioned him when we were talking about the notable people that passed away. But I don't know if you mentioned Bob Dole or not. I forgot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I meant Nesmith, Dole, and Ann Rice.
Okay. I'm sorry. I only had one channel working, and so I didn't hear that, I guess.
Wait a minute. Never mind. You just ignored me.
Well, there's always that too.
I'm actually surprised you have one channel on for me.
No, me too. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to shut the second one down.
And I was feeling bad about Gerald picking on you. Meanwhile, you were saying Bob Dole.
Bob Dole. Another one who wouldn't be welcome in today's Republican Party.
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. No.
I don't think people realize just how important that was. There was a time when Republicans actually stood for something. I didn't agree with everything that Republicans stood for.
But that time is gone.
Yeah. And I will tell you once again, this is an open note, an open letter to the people, open letters, a closed circuit. That's better. That's a better way to put it. To the Liz Cheneys, to the Kucinich, or not Kucinich. What? I'm trying to think of his name now.
Kinsley. No, Kinsley. Not Kinsley. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name either.
People that have an R by their name who aren't off the deep end when it comes to Donald Trump. I'm not. Ed says never voting for another Republican as long as he lives, and I understand that. All I'm telling the Republican Party to do is flush itself of Trump, flush itself of Trumpism, send these seditionists, send these white supremacists back to the shithole where they belong. And I might consider if
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, John, because as long as there are people backing Trump, okay, you're going to have, and I know that there are Republicans out there that want no part of this, but they're petrified. See, the problem is they all want to be reelected. They're not looking to do the right thing. They're looking to be reelected. Suck it up, Buttercup. If you get primaried out, oh, well, you get primaried out. Okay? But we got to start standing up to them. Not we. I already stand up to them. John stands up to them. You got to stand up to your own people. I understand that's difficult at times, but enough is enough. You're out there. You just have to show some balls. You can't be Susan Collins. Well, I think he's learned his lesson.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah,
there's one that needs to be voted out. She needs to be escorted out. She is useless. Useless.
What else do we have in our little bag of goodies here?
Well, let's knock out another bag of chips before we do anything else. And I got one other one that's pretty cute.
But they are sort of locked in this cage of fear.
Why are Republicans afraid of Trump?
I'll tell you what I really think of Donald Trump.
Two possibilities. Either Trump, a bitter, cheating, traitorous, lying son of a sow, who turned his back on everyone, including his family, has somehow managed to cow decent Republicans into submission with mob-like threats of personal reprisal, or Republicans are simply cowardly little pricks.
They are who we thought they were.
Not all Republicans. This is Liz Cheney. She's a real conservative whom I would argue threatens the social fabric of America. You might remember her father.
Join me.
But apparently, out of 200 plus Republicans in the House, she's the only one with the balls to call out tiny fingers.
Said I had small hands.
And I can't help but love her just a little bit. There was a time when we could have a healthy debate about issues before this fat cracker shit the bed and darkened the American landscape.
I don't know what I said.
And even though he's a bucket of KFC away from a permanent horizontal position, the fact remains the GOP has a tumor and it's spreading.
Goddamn right.
Where is Kamala? Storming the Capitol!
Well, I forgot that was there. Amazingly, interestingly, on point.
Very much
of the conversation we were having. So there you go. So once again, Chip comes through. Before we get going, I got one more that I want to. Not the chip you're seeing up there, but this struck me as so funny. This is God's tech support. Take a listen.
Yes. Well, you don't really need to thank us for that. We don't have any say who wins a People's Choice Award. Yeah, it's right there in the name. All right. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Amen. Hello, God's tech support. No, sorry, he's busy. How can I help? Pandemic. Sure. Awful. Let's just check. I see here we did send you some scientists and doctors. And it looks like they've come up with some simple ways to help end the pandemic. Vaccines, masks, simple stuff. Ah, you don't trust them. And the reason? Some politicians, podcast hosts, and someone on Facebook said not to. I see. Okay, so let's see if I understand this correctly. There's a pandemic that's killed millions worldwide. You have the solutions to help end the pandemic, but you don't want to. Don't worry. Don't worry. I think I know what the issue is. You have what we in tech support call a 1D10T problem. That's right. That's right. If you could just write that down. Yeah. 1D10T. That's right. It does look like it spells idiot. Hey, I think we're going to have to reboot Earth.
Very, very, very.
What more could we possibly do?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. You ready for another mini rant?
Sure. We got 18 minutes.
Good, good. Hopefully, I don't take all of it.
Hopefully, you do.
Well, I've got to tell you something, my friend.
Uh-oh.
As I said at the top of the show, I came down with a case of influenza A myself. Here.
Okay.
I have felt like absolute dog manure for roughly the entire week.
Okay.
I got my flu shot.
Okay.
I'm thinking to myself, had I not got this flu shot, I'd be feeling a lot worse than I do right now, maybe even in the hospital. My point about this is that I think what we've realized, the one common theme about the pandemic and about vaccinations and whatnot is that they're there for your protection. They're not going to, if you wind up coming in contact with somebody that has it, you might not get ill or might not get very seriously ill, but you still stand a chance of passing it on to somebody else, even if you personally are vaccinated. So my point in this is I cannot anymore stay behind the whole idea of the mandatory vaccinations, the mandates, and everything like that. There's enough evidence out there right now that every person and every avenue, every media avenue has had it, where if you are vaccinated, the chances are pretty good that even though you might even contract COVID, it is not going to be as serious as had you not gotten the vaccination. But look, there are enough people out here in this country and worldwide, quite frankly, who won't do something just because I told you had to do it. I'll give you the example of seatbelts.
Right.
Seatbelts have always been a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Always been a good idea. But when somebody finally made it a law and said that I had to do it, I said, screw you, pal. I have to get in and out of my car too many times during the course of my day. At the time, I was a hell of a lot fatter than I am now, believe it or not. It was a pain in the ass getting that seatbelt around back and forth and whatnot. What finally got me to start wearing seatbelts?
Do tell.
Is when cars wouldn't stop dinging. when you didn't have that little warning signal constantly
Yeah.
going on in your ear.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay. I'll wear the damn belt.
And now you wouldn't know what to do without it.
Right. You're absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've always been but just to stay on your little track there, I've always been a fan of the seat belts, never minded wearing them at all. But I've seen people go out of their way. I had drivers, I would walk up to them and see them in a car I owned, a cab I owned. They're under the seat or in the fuse box trying to disconnect the bell. And I'd say to them, what the hell are you doing? Well, I don't want to listen to the bell. Fine, wear your seatbelt. I don't want to wear the seatbelt. Then you got a problem. That's my car. You're destroying my car. Yeah. And I had guys who would do the seatbelt behind the back thing. And my favorite was, with the Crown Vic bucket seats. They would take the seatbelt from the passenger seat and bring it over and put the male end into the female end. No. I told people, look, first off, it's the law. You have to wear a seatbelt. Second of all, if you don't want to wear it, you're a big boy. You'll just be paying me for a windshield that you go through. Third off, you do not take any alternative measures because then you're damaging my car. You don't put it behind the seat. You don't put it behind you. You don't want to wear it, don't wear it. But Ed, the bill, that's on you. Mm-hmm. That's on you. Now, as far as I know where you're going with this, and you can't tell me. I've been thinking. Actually, this just popped into my head. I think this is the new analogy I'm going to use. Because you hear this a lot from folks. Well, this one got it. I had it. I had COVID and I didn't die. And okay. Many, 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 many people have been shot and didn't die. A lot of people have been shot and have died. Mm-hmm. What does that tell us about bullets? Nothing. It speaks about aim. Sometimes you're going to die. Sometimes you're not. But you don't know if you're going to die or not from that bullet. Mm-hmm. That bullet could kill you, wound you, etc. It could go right by you and never touch you. But you will do everything you can to avoid that bullet now, won't you? Mm-hmm. Are you? You're not going to take the chance that the bullet will whiz right by you or that it will only wound you. You're going to run, hide, put on a bullet-resistant clothing, whatever it is you can do to avoid that bullet. Think of COVID as a live round of ammunition. And you're going to do everything you can. It may miss you completely, which is good news. Mm-hmm. But are you willing to take that chance? Outside of a few nutballs on this planet, I'm going to say most people would say no. You're not willing to take that chance. And you'll do everything in your power. But hey, we're not talking about bullets here. Yes, we are. A bullet can get into your system and wreak all kinds of havoc without actually killing you itself. But it can create things, and that's what COVID does. It gets into your respiratory system, and man, that's not what's killing you. It's the effect it's had on other things. So please, people, please, it's for your own good. But if, go find a effing island someplace. I mean, I'm so sick of it.
That's my point about that. I still am happy I got the vaccination. If they turn around and tell me, say, in another 6 months that I have to get another booster, I'll be right there, first in line. I believe.
And by the way, for those of you wondering, has Ed had his booster yet? No, he has not. I finish up this job a week from Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Which means I will be COVID tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times between now and then. Mm-hmm. I plan on going the week between Christmas and New Year's. This way, I'm not working. I'll be off, and I have time to be miserable for a day. And I'm okay being miserable for a day. I plan for it.
It's usually Sunday, but
the way it's been. Anyway, so I'm going to do that. I got a lot of things I want to get done over the month of January. But fear not, Ed's getting his booster. There's no question. And like John, if they say you need another one, I get another one. Why? Because if they tell me, oh, here, not only here's the Kevlar vest, but we're going to give you this steel shield to protect you from the bullets. Guess what? It's taking the shield.
Damn right. I am
the
all
shield. You don't need the Kevlar vest. Fine, as long as
you're
they
protected.
get better
You
as
are
we go along.
Yeah, you are triple. You are protected beyond. I believe in the protection. I believe in the science behind the vaccination.
I kind of blacked out there. I zoned out. I was napping. Did I make a valid point?
You made a very valid point.
Man, I'm gonna have to replay and listen to that because I have no recollection of it whatsoever.
Dogs and cats living together. No, listen, man. I'm not going to get. I can't waste my personal time and space getting upset with people that aren't vaccinated. I'm not going to, and I am not going to go through any extra protection mechanism to protect the unvaccinated. I've done my part. I've gotten my vaccines. I've done what I can to protect myself, protect my family. I'm doing what I can on my end here. If you don't want to get the vaccination, you do you, boo.
That's really where it comes down to now. And what saddens me is that when I do go back to work, I'm going to have to restart this whole thing of listening to people go, "Oh, I don't need the vaccine. They can fire me if they want."
Good. Look, I don't really care if businesses. I don't feel sorry for people who are being fired by private businesses. I'm beginning to understand that maybe the federal mandates, as far as making businesses enforce a vaccination policy, that might be
bridge too far.
It might be, and I understand the reasoning behind it, look, hey, I look at it this way. The vast majority of the unvaccinated are the ones that vote for Trump and that crew.
That's right.
So, hey, if a few more of them kick the bucket, we may all live in a better world.
Oops.
Did I say that?
Oops. Did I say it out loud?
You're damn right, and I'll say it again if I need to.
Apropos of nothing, and that was well said, John, but apropos of nothing, just because I have this on my script, and by the way, one of us keeps a written script to
one of us doesn't need a written script.
Right. Yeah, let's not even go there. I could spend the next 5 minutes going on about that. But my grandpa used to tell me, when one door opens, I'm sorry, let me start that again. My grandpa used to tell me, when one door closes, another one opens. He was a great man, but a horrible cabinet maker. We still don't have that sound effect. I have it somewhere. I just don't have it at the ready. So here we are. We've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes to go on the big show, the big show. And
okay, I got a little something for to kill a little time.
Sure.
So, how many fast food joints you got right around you there?
Right around me?
Well, within walking or an easy drive.
Oh, well, let's see. We have a McDonald's, we have a White Castle, we have a Wendy's, a couple of bunch of pizza joints. That's really it. There's a Subway somewhere. There's a Subway, not terribly.
There's a Subway everywhere.
No, you're not. By the way, I'm going to do a mini rant on Subway. Many, many years ago, Subway changed their ham from real good God-fearing American ham to Canadian ham. I don't like the ham.
Hey.
And then in the past year or so, and I don't know why, I can't get an answer why, they stopped selling roast beef.
go again. Go back here in the next week or two if you get a chance. We got beef back in our market.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that kind of limited me down to, for what I like, to tuna and their meatballs and their steak subs. I like their little cheesesteak subs. But
were you a big Subway Club fan?
No. I was for a little while, but
yeah. But anyways, okay. So, what do you think about when you go into these fast food places? What do you think about the service you've been receiving?
I think it's been pretty good, actually.
Right.
Honestly, I believe I actually believe it's been better. There's always going to be a bump in the road. You're going to get somebody who's new or is about to quit and doesn't give a flying rat's behind. But honestly, I think it's been pretty consistent. I don't go to them as often as I used to. I mean, occasionally I'll run through McDonald's and grab breakfast. But honestly, it's been better. It's been better. I've seen worse. What brings you to this point?
Well, the reason I went through a Burger King drive-through. It's been a couple weeks now.
Well, there's your.
They had a sign. They had a sign up in their window, basically saying, "We're shorthanded. Please try to be nice to the people that
that are here.
That are here." And then it dawned on me, just as I was coming up with this point, I had to come up with another one. You've heard of Discount Tire, correct?
I've heard of Discount Tires, yeah.
It's a chain. Big chain here in this neck of the woods. I was having tire issues. I had a bad sensor in one that it needed to get replaced, and then I had another one, and actually another tire picked up a nail. I don't do my own tires. So, but I have spent over 3.5 years or so, I have spent nearly $4,000 on tires and various equipment with Discount Tire. I did expect them. And I felt like I was getting blown off with this service work. They didn't want to mess with me.
Let me ask a couple of questions.
Let me finish the point real quick, please. And then go ahead. I sent a tweet out about it. Said I'm not really happy. I'll be damned if Discount Tire didn't bend over backwards to get me taken care of. And hats off to them for that.
But I got to ask very quickly here, with the limited time we have, is it the same shop you go to all the time?
No,
it really shouldn't matter. I'm just asking, is like when you drove in, here's John and the cabbie, or so. But you went to one of their locations.
I went to 4 different locations trying to get this taken care of.
Wow.
And listen, all they got to do is pull up, enter my phone number into their little system.
Right. No, I get it.
But they took care of it. They made it right. And hey, thank you very much. 4 new sensors, tire fixed, and rotated.
But you shouldn't have had to go through that. And that's
you're right. I agree. But
customer service is a bear. Okay, we've both worked with the public for many years now, and
it is what it is. All right, my friends. Thanks for joining us. This 2 hours flew by pretty quick. So, for that guy over there, Ed Van Ness, I'm John Shannon. And I got the money.
Talk too much.
See ya.
I can't believe the things that you say every day. If you keep on talking, baby, you know you're bound to drive me away. Yes, if you keep on talking, baby, you know you're bound to drive me away. Yes. Yes, dear. Yes, I'm listening.
Oh, I heard every word you said, honey. Yes. Yes, dear. Oh, I agree. You're right. Yeah, you're always right, baby. Yes, dear.